Good afternoon, and welcome to CarbonSmart here at ETHDenver. I'm Caroline Klatt. I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer of Flowcarbon, and I will be your MC for this event. For those of you who don't know, Flowcarbon is a vertically integrated financial services and technology company committed to scaling the voluntary carbon market. We are using Web3 innovation to expand financing for high-integrity carbon reduction and removal projects around the world. I first want to thank our sponsors today for helping make this summit possible. If anyone is here from one of the sponsors, feel free to make a wave so people could find you and connect after. But Cello, ES Global, Neutral, Filecoin Green, Nova Energy, Operand, and Plural Energy. Great. And also kudos to everyone in this room for finding your way to this auditorium. I know a lot of folks are slowly making their way here, but in efforts to stay on schedule, we're moving along. The goal of this summit is to accelerate blockchain and tokenization solutions for scaling voluntary carbon markets, for unlocking greater transparency, to creating liquidity across carbon markets. This afternoon, you'll hear from leading experts on topics ranging from financing, clean energy, to stablecoins and sustainability, and investment trends at the intersection of Web3 and climate. Our theme today, to unlock unprecedented flows of finance into the climate solutions we desperately need. I encourage you to share conversations today using your hashtag CarbonSmart so that we can repost and share these conversations to our broader networks. And so to that end, I want to thank you all for joining us today to talk about the future of climate tech investment, and specifically how Web3 innovation can unlock the trillions in financing we desperately need to combat climate change. For many of you in this room, this is not a new theme. This is our second ETHDenver event, and we attend many events hosted by many of the other folks in this room all the time, where we've built connections and had conversations that span years at this point. I'm thrilled to see so many friendly faces here and new faces. We are trying to build real solutions to a massive problem, arguably the greatest challenge our generation will face. And it is great to see more passionate and smart people joining the fight. The numbers facing us are daunting. Experts estimate we need $3 trillion in annual investment to reach the goals of the Paris Agreement, which is to keep global warming to no more than 1.5 degrees Celsius. Emissions need to be reduced by 45% by 2030, and we need to reach net zero globally by 2050. Otherwise, we will face catastrophic impacts of climate change. $3 trillion is a lot. That is an enormous amount of money that needs to be deployed quickly into climate solutions. And one of the most promising sources is the voluntary carbon market. This market for carbon credits has the potential to deliver over 30% of the solution needed. Yet today, the voluntary carbon market is hamstrung. It lacks key infrastructure to facilitate transparency, liquidity, and trust at scale between projects producing carbon credits and the corporations that wish to purchase them. High transaction fees and complexity lock out climate innovators, and it can be frustratingly difficult for corporate sustainability teams to understand if they're getting quality carbon credits that actually fund impactful climate solutions. Over the past 2 years, we have seen more and more people pay attention to the voluntary carbon market. More corporations and governments and individuals recognize that supporting these projects that sequester carbon or capture it from the air is very important. However, there are also a web of complex regulatory considerations, political considerations, and PR considerations that add more layers of complexity to what is already a complex problem. This is where Web3 comes in. Blockchain technology can provide the rails and scaffolding to architect a properly functioning carbon market. With blockchain, we can gain immutable records of carbon credit ownership and transactions, cutting out the middleman and simplifying verification. Smart contracts can enable programmable and automated credit allocation and retirement as emissions are offset. And tokenization can allow smaller climate projects to access flexible financing by selling tokenized carbon credits representing existing or future carbon reductions. Regulatory frameworks can be incorporated into the system, and subjective decision-making that often leads to PR challenges for larger corporations can be removed. In short, Web3 can unlock climate investment into all sorts of projects that remove and sequester carbon. Climate finance has long been the domain of governments and institutional investors, with retail investors simply not allowed to participate despite their $8.2 trillion of untouched investable retail wealth. A recent article by CoinDesk notes, quote, "Evidence suggests that most retail investors would take a lower return in exchange for significant environmental impact. It's a clear signal that these types of investors want to be part of the fight against climate change and invest their money into projects they believe will have a big environmental impact." Web3 can make that happen. Web3 stands poised to be a catalyst that unlocks access to retail capital, spawns and scales new generation of grassroots climate projects. And that's not all. Major players are also buying key carbon accounting and credit issuance platforms on blockchain. International standards bodies are working to develop tokenization guidelines, and an array of institutional investors are seeking exposure to high-integrity, digitally verified climate assets. The road ahead is long, but momentum is accelerating, and we're seeing innovation happen across the climate finance ecosystem. And that's why we're gathered here today to discuss this, from tokenization and stablecoins to clean energy and finance. The impact of blockchain has yet to be fully realized. And so our work will continue. Web3 innovation offers keys to unlock unprecedented flow of finance into exactly the kind of climate solutions we need, and it will take our combined energy, intelligence, and connections to turn these keys. Blockchain holds the potential to radically upgrade market infrastructure for transparency, audibility, and exchange of value for all of it touches, but especially for the voluntary carbon market. And so to that end, it can position the VCM as a driving force to fund our collective climate future. The opportunity for impact, both financial and environmental, is tremendous, and the time for action is now. Today, we will be hearing from experts across climate finance, real-world assets, blockchain, to share how they, along with all of us, are working together to build climate investment ecosystem of tomorrow on the blockchain networks of today. I encourage you not only to connect with panelists, but to connect with everyone in the room. The value of these events is connections. And we know that the conversations had today will create impact for months and years to come.